Right. How are you doing on this one?
Uh, Kinda
So did you subtract by from both sides?
BY.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is ax equals c minus by. What's left to do here to solve for x?
uh, Get X isolated.
Right. So what is the a doing to the x? What's the math operation between the a and the x?
And the X is the multiplication.
So you undo that with division. So x equals c minus by over a.
Mhm.
All right. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Is your exam typically like the review?
Usually.
Okay. There's a lot of questions here. Well, I mean, can't imagine you have that many, but maybe you do. Okay, I equals P plus PRE. So we have not done a problem like this before. I mean, I was really kind of like, I really like to incrementally make the problems more difficult. We just weren't to a place where this was possible. Um, to solve this, notice how there's a P in both terms.
Yeah.
You have to factor it out. Okay, and they call this the divide and slide method. So if you
Yeah, I
divide
remember.
both, yeah, we did that. P divided by P, when it's the same thing, when it's divided by itself, what does it become?
Right one.
One
Yeah.
plus, what is PRT divided by P?
Said RT.
RT, yeah. So you can get caught up to here. This is where it's a little bit like awkward because it's like you think there's like something else to do here, but this thing in parentheses is multiplying the P. Like there's a little multiplication right there. So how do you undo it? Well, you divide by what's in parentheses, both sides. And then it cancels. If it's the same on the top and the bottom, it cancels, leaving you with P equals I over 1 plus RT.
Yeah,
All right. So let me know when you get this down. I'll have you do one like this.
I got it.
All right. So let's go L plus LW equals P. And you're going to solve for L. Okay. So this is really, really similar to the previous one. Why don't you try it on your own? Ask me some questions if you're unsure. Let's see what you come up with.
Okay. I got x equals
Whoa,
no
X.
no x L
Oh, okay, got it.
equals e
This is a P.
p minus LW.
No. Okay. So when you have an L or whatever variable you're solving for in two positions, you have to factor it out. It's the divide and slide.
Yeah.
Right, so what goes in parentheses there?
I equals p 1 plus LW
If it's divided by L and it's got an L, it goes away.
is W.
Just W, yeah. If you're ever unsure what I'm writing, please say, hey, I don't know that letter. I'm not sure. I tend to write in cursive on some things. I know it's not standard anymore, but that would be, please ask. Like, if I don't know, I will just assume, something else.
Yeah.
Okay, now we want to isolate L. So what is the math operation between L and this parentheses?
Multiplication,
Right, so how do you undo multiplication?
division.
Division. You divide both sides by
Right
1
down
plus W.
plus W.
Yes. So give me your final answer here for L.
L equals what I do? L equals P
Divided by what?
LW.
No. Are you seeing my
Just
screen?
W. What?
You're seeing my screen, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing a screen.
Okay, so the L comes down, right? These cancel. What is left
So
over on the right?
P over 1 plus W.
1 plus W, yeah. Okay, let's do one more like this. It's going to be the same thing. You're going to have to factor. So when I
Okay.
give you a problem like it, you're using the same set of steps. It's maybe different numbers, but it's always the same steps. It's never different steps. That wouldn't be fair. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's try another one here. Let's try 2a minus ab equals c pi. Okay, and you're
Mhm.
going to solve for a. So 2a minus a times b equals c times pi. You're going to solve for a.
Is it A equals C pi divided by 2 minus B?
Yes, that is correct. Very good. I like that. That's just that we can kind of move forward on some of this. So that's good. All right. I think we ought to move to like 7, 8, 9, like a couple of each grouping.
Yeah.
There's way more to do on the literals, but let's just move to 8 here. We're gonna do 8 next. So there's two formulas you need. So the midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. In words, you're finding the average of x's, comma, the average of the y's. That's an average is when you add them up and divide by the number of numbers, in this case, 2.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's do that for problem number 8. Start with 8. Maybe I'll have you do 7 here. So the midpoint, the mid is -2 plus 5 over 2, comma, 5 plus 7 over 2. It's okay to get a fraction. It is totally okay. This becomes 3 over 2, 12 over 2. It's okay to get a fraction in one of the positions. Does that make sense?
Okay,
There's no problem with that at all. All right, so do you have the midpoint formula down? Something in your notes for that?
I have it in my notes.
Excellent. And do you typically get to use your notes on the test?
Nope.
All right, so what's your plan to memorize something like this?
Review mostly.
So one of the things that would help is to write the formula down every time you do a problem. Even though that adds extra work, it will help you remember it. All
Wait,
right,
so
question?
would would 3/2 over 2 and 6 be the answer for the midpoint?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. All right, so here I'd like you to find just the midpoint of this, please. And I just want your final answer. Like imagine I'm only grading what goes in the box there.
Uh, Wait, would it be 5 negative
With your second number?
-3?
Yes, very good. Okay, so that's the easier one. Do you remember the distance formula?
No.
So the distance formula is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared square rooted.
Okay.
Okay, so again, you got to get that down in your notes. You are expected to memorize that. You know, it's not ideal, right? It's like, why do I have to memorize? You just got to. Unless you can talk your teacher into giving you, a reference sheet or something. But yeah, I don't make the rules, so you just do what you got to do here. Okay, so let's go look at. I'll do number 8 for you. So what could help here, and I would recommend doing this, is labeling them x1, y1, x2, y2, and you're just putting in the formula. So it's 5 minus a minus 2 squared plus 7 minus 5 squared square rooted. Any questions on where those numbers go in this formula?
No.
Okay. Double negative becomes positive. That's really 7 squared. It's always positives when you're squaring. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 squared is 4. This becomes the square root of 53. Get that down in your notes. I'm going to have you try number 7 on your own.
Good.
All right. So like you to find the distance distance between those 2 points, please. Let me know what you come up with.
What? Okay, I'll tell. I screwed up. How do I have two sevens?
Okay, so yeah, they get x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's 7 minus 3 squared plus -10 minus 4 squared. You have something like that written?
I replaced the seven with the F4, which is
Okay, so really, like I said, yeah, you gotta I'm only the guide. I'm your learning guide. I cannot make you do anything. That's not my responsibility. But I'll push and recommend, these things. All right, so see if you can simplify that. If you need a calculator for like squaring large numbers, that's fine. If you need or just want me to tell you the number, that's fine too. Uh,
I think it should be okay. Is it the square root of 212? 212?
yeah, this is like 4 squared, which is 16. This is minus 14 squared, which is 196. Did you guys talk at all about how to reduce the root?
What's the roots?
I remember vaguely doing a lesson on this. Might have been a small thing.
Uh,
Let's not emphasize that because it kind of takes away from what we're doing. Um,
not good.
so question.
No.
Okay. So we are going to do two more distance formulas because it's really important that you get this down. Like it's so easy to make sign errors when you're doing the distance formula. So please, sorry, you can also mislabel them like I was about to do. So please label them, put them in the formula. Let me know what you come up with.
Okay, I got 328.
The square root of what?
328.
Like that?
Yeah,
Okay, so we have -3 minus a -5. Is that what you put down?
yeah.
So what happens to the double negative there?
Turns into an addition.
Right, so that ends up being 2 squared.
Yeah.
And then we have plus -6 -12. That's -18 squared. What did you get for that?
324.
Okay, so you got it. All right. So these do reduce, but we're not going to focus on that because you got to find out. That's really a question for you. Like you might say to your instructor, "Hey, I was working on this problem over the weekend. Like I know this is correct, but like, do you want me to reduce the root?" And you'll probably find the answer is yes, but baby steps, incremental steps here. When is your test?
This sometimes probably Wednesday maybe.
Okay. Well, we
Week.
meet on Wednesday, so it'd be great if you could it would be great if you could get a an extra day just because it'll really help um have that one extra review session. So
Okay.
all right, let's look at number 10 here, which you've already started. Here's what I really like. I like that you've labeled A, B, and C. However, they are lowercase letters typically, and that could be an issue down the road. So try to stick with the conventions that are being used in class. Would be lowercase letters there. As far as you putting this in, I love it. Really good, excellent. You want to first simplify the part inside the root, the parentheses -6 squared minus 4 times 5 times 1. Could you do that for us, please?
I got x equals 1
Okay, there are two answers here. I was just
and
asking you the part.
yeah, and x, I mean not x, just 1/5.
Is this kind of what you got under the root? That's the most important thing. If you get this wrong, you're no chance. Is this what you got? Frank, if you're speaking, I cannot hear you. So let me know.
I said yes.
Okay, great. This is 6 plus or minus 4 over 10. You got to break it apart. It's 6 plus 4 over 10, 6 minus 4 over 10, which is 10 over 10, which is 1, and 2 over 10, which is 1/5. Okay. Now, this is a question for you. Why did you use quadratic formula and for this problem?
Uh, this reminded me because it had like the 0 at the end.
Okay. So, are you familiar with like tools, people that work on things?
Oh, wait, what?
Are you familiar with tools, like a screwdriver or
Oh
hammer?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. The quadratic formula is like a hammer. And there's a joke in the work circles. It's like the hammer, it works for everything. Like, and it works for things you would never use a hammer for. Like you could you could put a screw into a wall with a hammer, which is the wrong way to do it. You could use a hammer to like take a screw out. You can use the hammer for a lot of things, right? Um, but it's not always the best tool for the job. All right. And that's the point here is that you should not try quadratic formula first. It should be the last resort. Okay. Like, even though it always works, it's not the best way to proceed from the start.
Okay.
Did your teacher emphasize that at all to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm good. I'm glad to hear that because it's likely that on your test, you will only need to use quadratic formula on like one question, not all of them. All right. And like we're going to take a look at number 12 here. Um, there is an order here. So the first thing you try when solving quadratic equations, the first thing you try is GCF factoring. We were working on this on Wednesday. That's the first thing you always try. Now, what are you looking for? You're looking for, often it's two terms, not always, but often. Uh, all have X. They have some X in them. Do both of these terms have an X?
Oh, I do.
Do they both have an X?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Writing notes. Sorry.
So this one is a GCF factoring. So remember last time we were saying like, what is the number that goes into both? What is the smallest exponent that goes into both?
Mm. Oh, 3.
Okay, so I agree 3. And what about the between the X's?
The what?
What about the X squared and the X? What's the greatest common factor between those? What did we say last time?
3 and
Do you have
greatest.
any idea what I'm talking about?
Kind of.
Okay, so they both you choose the lowest degree exponent.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what goes in parentheses here.
Oh, okay. 3. We like 5 X.
Nope. You got
Oh,
you got
yeah, no,
3
I don't.
divided by 3. What is 3 divided by 3?
3 divided 3 is 1. Wait, no.
Okay. Then you got x squared divided by x. What does that become?
1x squared.
Okay, one x minus
5x.
if it's the same on the top and bottom, they cancel.
Oh, so just 5.
Just 5. Okay. So now you set each terms have to have an x in them equal to 0. So you set 3x equal to 0 and x minus 5 equal to 0.
Okay.
All right, so I'm asking you to solve both of those, please.
Um, well, what? Let me get it on student. 3x.
Yeah. Yep.
Hello?
Yep. What's the what do you have for an answer for this?
I got x equals um, x equals 5, x equals -3.
Yeah, but you're dividing. You're dividing.
Oh, so wait, x equals 0?
Yes.
Okay, so x equals 0, x equals positive or -5.
Well, how do you undo subtraction?
Well, to addition.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So Frank, like, the more we get to work together, like the more you're gonna find that like we did like probably 10 problems like this. Um, do you remember us doing that on Wednesday?
Yeah,
Okay. So like my expectation of you to help you is that you at least remember this. Like this felt like we were going through this the first time, which is I understand. Like it was Thanksgiving and like lots happened. Like I hope you remember like we did a bunch of these like this.
yeah. After you did it, I could recall how you,
Good.
like, recall the
Good.
actions.
Yeah. And don't hear like me being critical of you. Just hear like, hey, like my goal is to help you. So if I'm not helping you, that's that's a problem. So we're gonna do another problem like this. Do you need to get any notes down on this before we
Moved down.
proceed?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's try this one. Actually, let me pull up what we just did. All right. 8x squared minus 12x equals 0. I'm sorry, I didn't put an 8 here. That's a big deal.
Oh, okay. Let me just.
So what number goes into both?
4,
Okay, so 4, and then what about the x squared and the x?
3.
Oh, the x squared and the x squared and x. There's an x that goes in.
Yeah.
So tell me what goes in parentheses.
2x minus 3.
Yes. All right, now keep going here. This time, set each of those equal to 0.
I got x equals 0 and x equals 3 over 2.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, perfect. So let me try one more. Let's see if you can go start to finish here. Uh, 5, sorry, 15x squared minus 5x equals, or actually do plus. Go ahead and give that a try, please.
I got x equals 0, x equals -1/3.
All right, so we have 5x and then x plus 1 in here. Sorry, 3x in here. So like you said, x equals 0, x equals -1/3, like that. Does that work?
Yeah.
All right. So we do unfortunately have to stop here for tonight.